Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new to my channel, I welcome you to maybe your first video. If not, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to do something a little different that I haven't done on my channel before, and I am a little nervous, but I want to see if I can try it for you guys. First of all, I want to say I'm not a professional makeup artist. I'm not even a makeup artist. I am not what they call a beauty guru here on YouTube or Instagram or whatever. I just happen to be someone who loves makeup, and as you can see, obviously I do, and I'm also very comfortable in my own skin with no makeup and everything like that. I've actually done a whole video on kind of that, what had my journey towards becoming very comfortable without having to wear any makeup or very minimal makeup. So if you're interested in watching that video, I'll list it in the card or link it in the card above for you. But in today's video, I did a poll on Instagram. I don't usually go on Twitter. That's kind of the last thing that I do. But Instagram and Snapchat are my two main go-to. And I did a poll on Instagram to see if anyone would be interested to see if these dollar store brushes work or not. And I'm going to try and attempt to do that here today. I don't really have a proper setup, anything like that, but I'm going to give it a try. This brush set comes with 3, and it was $4 at my local Dollarama. And I have seen these brushes for quite a while now that have gone from very expensive to, as you see here, 3 brushes for $4. And I have never attempted to use any kind of brush like this, and it comes with 3. It says it comes with a large oval that's best for foundation, bronzer, or setting powder. There's a second brush that they call a small oval, best for concealer, eyeshadow, and contour powder. And I would think that means kind of for the nose and maybe underneath here. And then the third is a medium one that says you could use for blush, highlighter, or mineral powder. And I'm going to attempt to do this, and then I want to give you my thoughts. As you'll see, I do in the background, I use usually a combination of kind of, I like a firmer, kind of flatter brush to do my foundation if I'm doing that, and then I take a blending type of sponge and go over it after. I've tried both kind of separately, and I prefer starting with a brush and blending the foundation in, and then taking a blending brush and kind of pressing it into the skin. That's kind of how I find I like to use both. So I'm going to give this a true, honest go, see what I think. I mean, just looking at it from the packaging, the brushes look pretty decent. I mean, I'm pretty impressed. And the way they're shaped, like, they look pretty good. I haven't taken them out of the box, but I'm going to do that and then give it a try and see what my thoughts are, if these are pretty good, because I have many brushes that I've picked up from Walmart that are their Spa Essentials brand that run around $3 a brush, and they're amazing. They don't shed. They're awesome. I love them. So I want to see if, I mean, this is a pretty good deal. And if these work, this is a little hidden gem. If you're in Canada, Dollarama, I have found this there. So let's get into the video and see what I think of these brushes. And again, please just keep in mind, I am not any expert in makeup, and I wear glasses. I don't wear contacts, so this is going to be interesting to do, and I hope you will be kind and positive with my lack of makeup skills. It's just a middle-aged woman wanting to try out some dollar store brushes and see how well they work. All right, let's get into the video, guys. So first of all, guys, I want to just say the packaging I'm super impressed with. This thing was taped on all 4 sides. Like, it took me a bit to get into it, so it was sealed really well. And I think the brand is called Seriously Perfect Skin. So I'm telling you, the packaging is pretty impressive. And I finally got the outer packaging off. So here are what the brushes look like. And I'm gonna first of all take the larger one before I try. I wanna just feel the brush itself. And it is very, very tightly packed. Now this feels a little like there's some movement in there, so, but I mean, there's no, like, it's actually initial thoughts. There's no shedding or anything of this. So I don't even really know how to use it. I think you go in circular motion. So I'm very curious. I've never used anything like this. Now this is made out of plastic, but it says my beauty spot is on this, on the handle itself. It's pretty light, but then the top part has, it's a little bit, it has a bit of weight to it. So it's very flexible and bendy. So I'd be, you know, I mean, you're not going to be, you know, holding it. So I guess the only part I would be concerned at is where the head of the brush meets the base of the handle. That feels a little flimsy to me. So I feel like that might break pretty easily. So that would be my first, that it's all plastic, which is fine, but that I would say be very careful with this part. But I think if you kind of held it, it's a very strange brush to me, but if I kind of held it like this and went like that it would be okay. But I just think initially I have to be just very cautious of this part because it looks like it's pretty thin and might break off. But when I'm just kind of going through pressing at the brushes and just doing this initially, it feels very soft. I'm not seeing any, I see a little bit of shedding, but not anything crazy. There was one little piece that came out. So I always find that I don't like brushes to shed, but it is something that can happen. And I'm excited to try. So that's my initial thoughts, that it feels pretty soft, but it's pretty packed. Like it's very densely packed. So I'm interested to know how this will apply my foundation. And then again, the other two I would assume would be the same. Since they're smaller, like this small little one. Ooh, that's even softer than the other one, this little small oval. I feel like this feels not quite as heavy, and I actually really think I might like this brush. It's got a nice little oval head to it. It's not too big, not too small. So even if you got into maybe doing your concealer underneath, that could be pretty cool, which is what it says it's kind of for. So I'm excited to try this one. It feels really good. It doesn't feel like the head is too heavy. I don't know, this one I think I might like this one a lot. We'll see. And then the third brush, which is medium, again, it feels pretty nice. And out of the three, I think I'm going to enjoy the smallest one. We'll see. I haven't tried yet because I feel like these two are heavier at the top, which I get because they're bigger. So you just have to be really, I think, aware of that. But this little tiny one, I think I'm going to like. It's really, really light. And in proportion to the base of the actual handle, it's the same size. So that's why I think these ones you'd have to be a little bit careful. So this proportionately, I think, is a pretty good brush. I mean, from my initial just feeling of these, but they're all pretty soft. And the one I'm most excited about is this one. But I do see a tiny bit of shedding, but you know what? That is just how it is, I find. So let's give it a go. I'm a little nervous, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, guys. So what I did is I did my eyes, and I always do my eyes first. So I look a little strange with just my eyes done. And I was trying out I was trying out this Essence All About Toffee eyeshadow palette. I picked it up at Shoppers Drug Mart here in Canada. It was only like $5.49, and the colors look really pretty. And I haven't really tried any Essence eyeshadows too much. I'm kind of disappointed. The colors are really pretty, but to actually get what I wanted to get, I don't really like it. And I know right away usually when I'm playing with a palette if I like it or not, and that I don't really care for. And then I'm loving this ColourPop Semi-Precious palette. This one I really love. It's all metallics and it's so amazing. I got this off of Sephora, and then I did that as well. And then I did add a little bit of a new L'Oreal. This is part of the Galaxy holographic series, and this one is called Full Moon. So when I swatched it, I really liked it, but to be perfectly honest, I'm not overly impressed with it. It's very smooth and creamy, and I like that. So I think it would work really well as a highlighter, and I'm going to try that today. But I did put that a little bit. I'm not too thrilled with the way my eyes look, but whatever. So I've put my face is moisturized, and I'm trying out a sample of a luminescent primer, which I've never done before, as well as I'm going to try out this this one is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup. Yes, it's more on the high end, obviously, but I've heard amazing things on this foundation, because I'm always trying to find, I have drugstore foundations, and then I like to have a couple of higher end ones to try. So I've heard nothing but good things about this, and I got color matched for it, and it is in the shade 1N1, which is I Renewed. This was, I think, the second fairest shade. There's one below this that I almost went with. So I was talking to a lady and going with, decided to go with this one. Could have went with either. So I'm going to get what's considered the foundation brush, and we're gonna give this a try. So fingers crossed I can make this work. Like, this is strange for me, but let's give it a try. I picked up this glass palette off of Amazon last year. It took like 3 months to ship. It was very inexpensive, and I usually just put my foundations if I'm mixing colors. So today I'm not mixing anything. I'm just going to use this color, and we're gonna hope for the best. So I'm gonna try my best to make this work and go from there. So I always like to just take a little bit. I'm gonna do one side of my face first. As I said, this is a new foundation, and you'll have to bear with me because I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm a little nervous, but we're gonna give it a try. So let's do this. I think you're supposed to do circular, so let's see. First off, it's a little, the foundation brush itself, I'm not sure if you're supposed to go down, because I usually go in a circular motion, and I'm not sure what I'm thinking of this brush. So we're gonna give it a try and see. But I think I'm finding it's going on better without doing any circular motions, and then I'll get a concealer out. But initially I just wanted to just try it out on the one side of my face, and with that luminescent, like, I don't know, I'm not sure what I'm thinking of this. I'm not really digging it. It actually feels really good. I'm going down my neck, and I know I'm wearing my hair. So this is partly why I like to use a blending sponge too, because I always feel like a brush or just that, and that's just me. So I'm just gonna look in the mirror here. Sorry. And there's tons of brush strokes that I don't like, so I'm gonna get, this is why I like to get, this one's actually an Ecotools blending sponge that I picked up off of Amazon in a dual pack. So I like to go through and just pat it in. So I'm gonna do that and see what I think. Ahead and used my sponge. I love this sponge. It actually comes in a pack of 2, and I use this one for under the eyes, which I will do after I do try the concealer. So my initial thoughts are that this did go on. There was not too much shedding, but that it did leave visible brush strokes. And I find that with my skin, as I said, I'm not an expert, but that's why I like to go back over the blending sponge, and I found that did a better job of getting that in, and that's why I like to use this after. So I just found there was lots of brush strokes with it. It didn't go into my skin as well as I would like, but overall, after I've used the beauty blender, I'm calling it beauty blender, sorry, my blending sponge, it doesn't look too bad actually. And I think with practice this might be a good brush. So I'm gonna just do the other side of my face, and then we'll get to the concealer, and then we'll go from there. Overall, when I did this side of my face, I just did strokes down like this. And I found I feel like I blended it better because I was doing circular motions, which I'm used to with a regular brush, but just playing with it, I think my left side went better as I went and made longer strokes and went down, and that seemed to do a lot better. So my initial thoughts were, but I actually liked when I figured out to go longer strokes, to go kind of like that and go down, that I actually quite liked this brush, and that I did a better job blending it on this side because I've never used this. So after I did that, I actually kind of liking how that made my foundation look with the blending sponge. So now I'm gonna add, and I didn't need that much. I took way too much foundation, so little went a long way. And now I'm going to do the concealer and try this brush. So right now I'm gonna use the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in number 15, which is fair, and I don't do a lot of concealer. Obviously I have dark circles. I'm not one of these that puts a lot of highlight or concealer, pardon me, on my eyes, but I like to do a little bit, and I shouldn't have done this part because I normally do one at a time. So let's give this a try. I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm gonna go in, same thing, I'm gonna go underneath. I'm gonna try and be really careful. That's the only thing I think what I'm not liking is tugging on my skin initially, and how to make this brush work properly, because I'm not liking this at all. I like that it can get right up in here, but initially I'm not liking that. I'm feeling like it's tugging on the under eye area, which I don't like. So I'm going to get my my blending sponge, and go in there and just pat. I'm trying to pat it in as soft as possible. I went in a little rough initially, which is not good. So I'm just going to do that, and then do the other side and give you my thoughts on that. So I didn't like this for applying concealer. I tried to be as careful as possible, but I felt like it was really pulling, like tugging, and I don't like that because the under eye area is a very, very delicate. So I like to use a different, what's the one I'm using? There's a different brush I like to use for the concealer, and I can't find it. Where are you? This one is the Still Spa Essentials. I like this. It's very, very soft, and I like that I can go in and delicately tap that and blend that concealer, and then go back in with my blending sponge. So I prefer this for blending the eye concealer, and not this. I felt it was too much. So I'm actually going to take it and try and use it for applying loose powder for setting under the eye. Let's see how that works. I might like that better. So I'm going to try that. And this, I really, really love this Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. So I'm going to just tap that in lightly and gently and see what I think of that. Now that's doing okay, but here I thought this initially was going to be a brush I absolutely loved, and I'm not liking it at all. And I'm just gonna, this is a clean brush, I'm just going to kind of dust that away and then give you my thoughts on that. If anyone's wondering, I went ahead and just set the rest of my face. This is the Maybelline Fit Me number 10 in Fairlight, and I absolutely love this finishing powder. And what I do for what I love for all over face loose powder, setting powder, is this powder brush by Real Techniques, which I've had forever, and I always use this for the loose powders for setting. So I did that. These two this combo together is awesome. So overall, I did not like this at all for concealer. I think if you contour the nose or you're gonna contour, I think this would be awesome. I don't contour, I do a little bit of bronzing, but nothing contour. But I think this would work really good for either side of the nose. And if you are actually going to contour, you could get a nice chiseled line. I wouldn't recommend this for me under the eye for concealer. It did okay for tapping, you know, pressing in loose powder for setting, but I'll have to play around more with this one because I think there's other things I could use it for. And if I get into contouring, I think this would be really great for getting specifically for that, but I didn't like it for applying concealer. And the last brush is the medium oval, which I'm going to try and do for blush. So I'm going to do the other, like my eyebrows, eyeliner, and that, because blush is kind of one of the last things I like to do. And then I will come back and we'll do this one. I've gone ahead and finished my eyes. I've put some eyeliner and I did my eyebrows, which we won't judge that. And then my eyes are feeling a little dry, which is normal when I'm doing makeup anyways, whatever. And then I'm starting to like the look of the eyeshadow more, but I'm gonna try now the medium size one. And I got this Tarte as a little sample one, and it's in the color, this is the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in Tarte, and I'm really enjoying this blush. I really like how the packaging looks, so I'm gonna give this a try. I'm a little nervous, but I really like this color of blush. I think this was a birthday one off of Sephora, so I'm gonna just tap in there. Woo! Tap off the extra and let's hope for the best. So I don't even know. I'm gonna just try to, I don't know, people. Just work with me. I like to kind of smile, tap off the extra. There is some on there, and then just see if I can, you know, kind of stroke it. That sounds strange, but kind of just, I don't know. I'm so used to a different blush brush, if you'd say, but I love blush. I think it adds such a, I like it on the, to be honest, I like my blush on the apples of my cheeks. I'm so fair skinned. I really like that look. This is feeling very soft. Doesn't get too much blush on there, which I kind of am digging. And I'm really liking that I have control over kind of where I'm placing it. It's going exactly where I want, and it's actually giving me a very nice glow, if you can see that. Yeah, I kind of like that, and then you could kind of blend it up a little more. I don't know, this will be trial and error, but this blush is one of my favorites right now, and I don't go too heavy-handed, but it's hard to know. I really like, it's just giving me a nice subtle glow. I like that. Way to go, little brush. Way to go. I like how that looks on my cheeks. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put some highlighter on and some lipstick, and I'm gonna come back and then give my final thoughts on what I think of this dollar store brush set. All right, let's get finished. Okay guys, so I'm all done my makeup, and yeah, I was trying to process what my overall thoughts are with everything. To be perfectly honest, I'm actually, after kind of processing in my mind the brushes and how I've never used anything like this before for my first time, and what I would do differently, I'm actually quite impressed with this set of brushes. Like, for $4 for 3 brushes. There was no shedding on my face. As I said, there was little to none when I was playing with them at first. That's very impressive. They're very densely packed, very soft. To be perfectly honest, my favorite brush was this medium-sized one because I really liked how it applied the blush, because I put it exactly where I wanted it to be, and there wasn't too much product, didn't get on the brush, which I love. I always find that sometimes the brushes pick up way too much blush and then you end up having too much. And I love that I could just build the blush up very, like the color, really nicely. So this ended up being my favorite brush. Secondly, I started to really enjoy the foundation one, the largest of the 3, when I did this side of my face and getting familiar with how to use it. So I'm going to play around more with this, but I became more impressed once I realized what I needed to do to use the brush properly. And then the least favorite, which I was very surprised at, was the smallest one, because I was really excited for the concealer, but I just felt it was too harsh for applying concealer. I liked it to apply the powder for setting the under eye area. So I will continue to use that and play with this one. And if I get into like contouring at some point for the nose or on the cheekbone area, I think this would work really well. So I'm actually overall, once I've, processed everything, I'm actually really, really impressed with this $4 brush set, and I can't wait to play around more with it. I think it's an amazing set for $4, and I would recommend, if you love makeup and you can find this little set, takes a little bit getting used to with the brushes, but I actually really, really liked it, and I couldn't be more pleased to find a hidden gem at my local Dollarama. And I hope that you've enjoyed this video for what it was, just me playing around, not being an expert, and I hope no one's judging my techniques, how I'm applying, all of that, and how it looks. It's, oh, she didn't do this, she didn't do that. That isn't what, I hope you can keep that in mind, that it was just me giving my opinion and going way out of my comfort zone on a video like this. But I really wanted to try and push myself into something that I've been wanting to try to do on my channel, but haven't had enough guts, you could say, to do it. So there you go. Let me know if you have any questions or comments down below, and if you thought this performed well, what were your thoughts, and would it be something you would be interested in to check out and see if your local Dollarama, if you have one here in Canada, or if you're elsewhere in the world, maybe your dollar store has something similar. I think it's worth checking out and practicing and playing around with. So I would appreciate knowing if any of you have tried similar style brushes and what your thoughts are on this type of the way they perform, and if you enjoy using them. And I overall did. Just takes a little bit of practice. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!